take you through the latest visuals that are coming in from Darjeeling in Patlibas, which is Gorkha Jan Mukti Morcha's office. You have the entire area which has now been cordoned off by security forces. Just a few minutes back, you had protesters on the streets trying to go to the district magistrate office as well. They were stopped from doing so. Tear gas shells have also been fired. The entire protesters contingent constituted of women protesters as well, which led from the front. My colleague Indrajit was at the spot getting us minute by minute update. And this is after there have been fresh bids of raids. Bimal Gurung, who is GJM's chief, is still missing from the action. Raids were conducted at his residence as well. Meanwhile, police is on high alert ever since leaders of Gorkha Jan Mukti Morcha have spearheaded their agitation for a separate state. Remember, it all started from Bengali being made compulsory by Mamata government. And after that, even as Mamata did a U-turn, GJM has been raising the banner for Gorkha land. My colleague Indrajit getting us this report.
Massive confrontation between Gorkha Jan Mukti Morcha supporters and the security forces once again today in Darjeeling, right outside the GJM headquarters. You can see the police is slowly taking all those stones that have been pelted at the security forces by the supporters who had taken out a rally today. Police completely outnumbered. Police first had to, fire tear gas shells, and now they have been able to push back the supporters of the Gorkha Jan Mukti Morcha, and they are making announcements. Not to show any aggression, but the Gorkha Jan Mukti Morcha supporters now are not relenting. They are pelting stones which are being thrown back. So the police in a sense is retreating slowly. You can see the police is retreating even as this confrontation between the GJM supporters and the security forces continue here in Darjeeling. With camera person Tapus Baini, Indrajit for India Today in Darjeeling.
For more than a week now, unrest continues in Darjeeling at a time which is a peak tourist season as well. The demands which is being made from Gorkha Jan Mukti Morcha is of separate Gorkha land. Now remember, it's coming at a time where GJM was losing political relevance in the state, where TMC managed to garner a seat in the civic poll, and hence we've seen this unrest which was started with Mamata Banerjee's call for making Bengali compulsory in schools. Now, after Mamata Banerjee visited Darjeeling, there was unrest as well over the Bengali language. Mamata Banerjee visited the state and calm prevailed for few days. In fact, you had tourists who were evacuated from Darjeeling, but GJM has now intensified its demand for Gorkha land. Interestingly, BJP playing a wait-and-watch game. BJP, which had made Gorkha land a promise in its manifesto, right now waiting to see how the situation unfolds. Meanwhile, additional security forces have been called in Darjeeling by Mamata government. Remember, it's the same government which had hit out earlier at the army for conducting a regular exercise in Kolkata Secretariat, and now Mamata Banerjee is relying heavily on the central forces to ensure the peace prevails in Darjeeling as GJM is intensifying its stir. These are the visuals that are coming in from today morning from Patlibas. It's the area where GJM headquarters is. There have been multiple raids that have been conducted in GJM's offices and leaders' residences. Meanwhile, Bimal Gurung is nowhere to be seen. He's in hiding at the moment, and many believe that this could also weaken the movement going ahead. But this agitation today morning is a fresh escalation. Let me go across to Indrajit, who's through with us at the moment. Let's go across to him first and ask. Indrajit, we saw the report that you'd filed just a minutes back. How's the situation at the moment?
Well, the situation is very tense, Devina. You can see this police car. They are being escorted and they are leaving because, what we literally saw in front of our eyes was a massive attack on the police at this point in time. Stones being pelted. Let me just show you. This is the kind of terrain that we are talking about, where people are, there upstairs, uphill and hiding between the bushes. And they're pelting stones at police vehicles which are passing like these, like the ones that are passing, if my camera person can show. And we actually do not know what is the situation right now in front of the Gorkha Jan Mukti Morcha headquarters, but reinforcements have been brought in. We are given to understand that several people are also injured. It includes policemen as well as protesters. So very angry protests taking place, tear gas shelling still being continued as the police is trying to bring the situation under control. But by the looks of it, as we saw from the very beginning, police had been completely outnumbered, given that several protest rallies came from various directions from these hilly, by lanes. took the police completely unawares, and the police finally had to retreat slowly. Shelling tear gas at the protesters. But the protesters later on started pelting stones, and they slowly moved forward towards on this lane at this point in time. Situation continues to remain volatile, tense, even as in Darjeeling, it's a total and complete shutdown. You can see all houses shut. Some curious bystanders on their balconies. They're trying to observe what exactly is the situation. But very volatile situation. Mamata Banerjee, of course, has sent 9 top-level IPS officers in Darjeeling to get the situation under control. But as we have been showing, every alternate day, there is a very violent protest that is taking place. In fact, Devina, there is also a lot of anger on the media, because remember, 2 days back when such a protest was taking place, one of the media vehicles were also set on fire. So Darjeeling on the boil at this point in time. The police is not in control of the situation. The administration is not in control of the situation. And the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha, of course, have been demanding that there should be central intervention. We've heard from Bimal Gurung, last 2 days back when the raid took place at his residence. Bimal Gurung was nowhere to be seen. Then he sent us a video message to all journalists here working out here from an undisclosed location. We do not know where he is. A team of the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha did go to Delhi and brief Home Minister Rajnath Singh, accompanied by the BJP MP of Darjeeling, SS Ahluwalia. But it's been over 8 days that the situation on the ground in Darjeeling has been on the boil. We have not seen the BJP MP coming to Darjeeling and taking stock of the situation. So ever since Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee came here, conducted her cabinet meeting and then left, Darjeeling continues to simmer. It's been on the boil. Yesterday when we went to the main Chowk Bazaar, we saw hundreds of stranded passengers, tourists. There were tourists from foreign countries like Australia and France who were now being told to leave Darjeeling at this point in time by several hotel authorities. If I can show you, this is the road down lane where the action is now happening. We've seen several police vehicles rushing out of this area. And if my camera person can show, these are all the vehicles that are lined up here, media vehicles. Because we are also traveling together. There are 3 police vehicles in front of us right now. So as you can see, not just the media, which is not really feeling safe while covering this situation, even the police is bearing the brunt of this attack. So very violent protests that are happening in Darjeeling right now. Back to you.
Well, Indrajit, 2 things. First, you said that cops are outnumbered by the protesters. We've also seen from the report that you filed earlier, there are many women protesters in the group as well, and tear gas shells have been lobbed at them at this point of time. Where is Mamata Banerjee? Are we looking at a second visit of the Chief Minister to Darjeeling to calm tempers?
Well, if you say what is the stand of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, 2 days back we had played her soundbite where she had given a stern message to the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha, categorically stating that this is not the kind of politics that is allowed in a civilized society. This is open Gundaism. So the message from the state government is very clear. They are on a confrontation path. They want to crack down on the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha. Given what is happening right now, this morning the media advisor of the party was picked up by the police. There was another, senior leader of the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha who claims that his house has been vandalized this morning by the police. We do not have confirmation from the police. We spoke to the SP this morning. He refused to confirm whether there was an arrest. So what we are seeing basically is that several Gorkha leaders are being picked up. At the same time, the violence is spreading across the district. Darjeeling, of course, is it has remote areas also. In Darjeeling district, in Kalimpong district, in Karsiong subdivision, even in Alipurduar, there have been protests. Several government offices have been set on fire in the wee hours of the morning over the past 3-4 days. So this is the situation. In all government offices in Darjeeling, there is Section 144 of the CRPC. No assemblance is allowed at this point. Heavily fortified district magistrate's office. Entire town is shut. What we are going to face right now is that people are not coming out of their houses. But very soon we are going to see a fuel crisis, food shortage, essential commodity shortage, because most of the vehicles that come from Siliguri with, commodities, nothing is coming, and none of the vehicles from Siliguri are willing to come to, Darjeeling at this point in time. So we are, in a sense, bracing for a very severe crisis, and we'll have to wait and watch as to how the state government finally manages to bring the situation under control.
Okay, Indrajit, thanks for joining us. Be safe as you're covering the Darjeeling crisis. 2011, Mamata Banerjee had claimed that she had settled the issue with GJM on Gorkha land and has been toiling to keep the hill smiling. But right now, again, the unrest simmering.